horrified that in this day and age, the Premier of British Columbia would think it was a great idea to burn coal.
It's just one of the worst environmental horrors you can imagine.
I'm worried and I'm kind of angry at him.
You know, we should be thinking about that. Think about everybody in the province as your family, Mr. Campbell. That's what I would say to him. This is your family. Not that we really want to be related to you, but...
I'm just absolutely amazed. The whole world is trying to get away from coal, and we're leaning that way. Somebody's got to give their head a shake.
Compliance Energy started out with a small coal mine here, and that recently they've gotten a contract with BC Hydro to put in a plant to produce power using coal from their mine. And we know that the airflow from the mine goes right through town, settles in the town and moves on down the valley through Caramias, Coston and the rest of the Similkameen Valley. Environment Canada has shown us maps. We've seen the airflow. We know what's going to happen.
Well, if it seems like such a good idea, why don't you build it next to your house or in your town where your grandchildren live?
We've asked for assays of what's in the coal, how much arsenic, how much mercury, how much cadmium, all the heavy metals. And I would have thought that would have been the first thing. Anytime you're going to burn something and people are going to breathe it, you'd think they would have at least said, look, here's what it's going to be. That hasn't been the case. They have not been forthcoming.
I used to work for the enemy, Compliance Coal. I was their lab tech. We used to joke amongst ourselves that the company name should be non-compliance.
I was at a couple of meetings with John Tapix that he stood up and people bluntly asked about the pollution and what kind of plant are we going to get? How are you going to guarantee that there's no emissions? And he says, well, you're going to get the best plant that we can put here for this area.
Compliance has come in and just strictly went to the band that's closest to Princeton. It's just like the old school divide and conquer. It's been in history with the bands where the government's come in and offered a few little trinkets and beads, as they always put, and they'll accept it because we're poor. We're always told by Compliance that this is the latest technology, that we have nothing to worry about. The fact that all this stuff's going into the air somehow magically, according to their literature, is going to clean up the air.
We're looking at dirty coal. If it was clean coal, this project wouldn't be going ahead. China has sent this coal back. I don't know what else to say about that. And this technology that they're proposing, in my mind, is a quick, easy fix for a corporation that doesn't want to pay properly for its waste disposal. And they're doing it the cheapest way possible, which is to load it into a truck, drive it to the other side of the valley, and burn it.
I don't know what stake the government's got in this, but they seem determined that that this is going to go through.
Sitting in a meeting with Mr. Campbell, I asked him about that when it was in the pre-stages, and I asked him point blank, what about a coal-fired generator? Why are we having it when we promote beautiful British Columbia all over the world? And his answer was, so a couple slipped through.
He's a nice looking guy and a real smart guy. But the question is, who is he smart for? That's a kind of an important question.
The environmental assessment process is something that I have no faith in. It's, in my opinion, something that's bought with $900,000 of donations to the Liberal Party. The Mitsubishi Materials Corp told our federal government if they were held up by the environmental assessment that they would withdraw funding across Canada for all of their mining projects.
Of course, that's what Compliance sold when they came in. Oh, there'll be jobs and it'll be wonderful.
People want jobs and they want to get things going. And
are 30 jobs worth all of this?
Sulfur dioxide, which is the usual sort of brown smog problem.
And if they put that sulfur dioxide from the coal burning plant into the air and it hits the rain, then it turns into sulfuric acid.
One of the main ingredients in our bodies is water, and we're not going to tolerate or be able to live with acid polluted water either.
Well, I don't think mercury cares how it gets into you, whether it's air or water. It'll do the same job. So my concern is not all of the toxins, but in particular mercury, because it's not getting the front page.
There is no safe level of mercury. It's not acceptable.
Back in the middle 60s, the dogs and the cats of the Grassy Narrows Indian Reserve were really acting stupid. And Dryden, Ontario has a chemical plant, or had, and the paper mill is there. And it wasn't very long before the actual people of Grassy Narrows Indian Reserve were suffering the effects of mercury poisoning, which is Minamata disease. Now this is 40 years later. Her 10-year-old granddaughter has tingling feet, tingling fingers, and the kids in the playground look normal, but they're clumsy. 40 years later, and there's still Minamata disease on that reserve.
To even to entertain something like mercury with our children is insane.
And everybody in the world that studied this knows that mercury is a problem. So when you're told that, how do you believe anything else?
When Compliance Coal spoke at the Rotary meeting, there were 12 of us, 3 times I asked them about mercury, and 3 times I was denied an answer.
It's a morally bankrupt company that is taking the easy way out so they don't have to clean up their waste.
I'm angry not only at the idea of the plant, but the process, the way the company's presented it, and the way the government's done it.
So they pick on a little town. The politicians figure, well, there's only maybe at the most 1,000 votes.
Mr. Campbell, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a black mark on your record for the rest of your days.
Compliance has been phoning around doing phone polls. If this goes through, would you resort to civil disobedience? You're damn right I would resort to civil disobedience.
You've got my phone number, right? So you know where I live.
All the Okanagan bands, we will shut down everything for one day just to show that we're serious. And I can see the people standing with us.
And I'll fight this at any level I can, because I really believe the government's made some huge errors.
I'll do whatever it takes to stop this from coming here.
We will do our utmost to try and avoid this situation.
We need everybody's help, you know, to support what we're doing here.
I just hope people will listen.
If we can stop this thing in Princeton, we can stop it in the province, we can send a message to the rest of Canada, which can send a message to the rest of the world.
We have one Earth. Everybody's looking out there, look at Mars, look at the, wasting all that money for something else when we have heaven right here. We're destroying heaven, there's nowhere else we can go.
If he does have kids, he would let this would go into his house, and he would poison his own kids.